Denver Nuggets have a huge secret, and that secret goes by the name of Daron Holmes II. Their other moves this offseason are getting all the credit, and while yes, they are fantastic moves, bringing in Cam Johnson, Valanciunas, and Bruce Brown among others, they still have their first round pick from a couple of years ago that, remember, they traded 3 second-round picks to move up just 6 spots to be able to grab this guy. I think Daron Holmes could be in for a big-time year. Now, he's definitely going to have to earn it because right now he is listed as the third string center, but could play some minutes at the power forward because, as you can see here, he's kind of a hybrid 4-5, whereas he can operate on the perimeter, but he's 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan, so he's got the height and length to be a center. More so, I think he will play as a 4 at the next level, but as you can see, he can roll over the rim, set great picks. He averaged 20.5 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and 2.1 blocks at Dayton, while shooting 54% from the field and 39% from 3 on 2.6 attempts a game, even showing off a little bit of a mid-range. He's got, like I said, a hybrid mix of the 4 and the 5, but also a hybrid mix of an old style post game, but then the new style where he can spin on you, get downhill and go poster somebody, or go to the middle and hit a tough contested fall away 3 ball. He can also knock down the fall away mid-range. He can also knock down the 3 ball, as you can see, but like I said, the problem for him is there is a 3-time MVP standing in his way to getting minutes. Really should be a 5-time MVP, if we're being serious here. Last year, he should have won the MVP. It was the best season of his career, averaging 29.7 points, 12.7 rebounds, 10.3 assists, and 1.8 steals on 58% shooting from the field and 42% from 3 on 4.7 attempts. And he proved that he and Jamal can still be a competent duo while winning basketball games and trying to go out and win championships as they pushed the Thunder to 7. However, Michael Porter Jr. did not show up. So what did they do? They go out and they get 3 to 4 new pieces to bring in exchange for Michael Porter Jr.'s contract. MPJ was slated to make $38 million this season, 38.3, so a little bit over $38 million. And while he's great, they were able to turn that and a first-round pick into Cam Johnson, who will be making $21 million next year and the year following that. Jonas Valanciunas, who will be, I believe, into the last year of his NBA deal, making $10.3 million. And yes, they were able to persuade him to stay in America to play basketball and try and go out and get an NBA championship. Bruce Brown, they bring him in on the veteran minimum to make $3 million next year. His return to Denver, we'll talk more about that shortly. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. is just another guy they can bring in for more depth on a 1-year, $3.6 million deal. He can come in and he can change games from time to time. Now, I'm not saying every game, but once in a while he can change games. This is what the lineup will look like. Just a more consistent version of last year's Nuggets squad, but then the bench unit is just 1,000 times better with Bruce Brown, Strawther, who should be improved, Peyton Watson, who should be improved, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. as well as Jonas Valanciunas. You can also throw Watson at the 3, and play some Daron Holmes. But looking at the 4 guys they brought in, first with Cam Johnson, who is a monster. He is going to, well, first off, he's going to really improve with Nikola Jokic alongside of him because typically that's what people do when they play with the best basketball player in the world. But he is, like I said, just a more consistent version of Michael Porter Jr. with better defense. The stats were very similar. 19 a game, 4.3 rebounds, 3.4 assists, shot 48% from the field and 39% from 3 on 7 attempts per game last year. He also played in 57 games, so dealt with a little bit of injury struggles, but hey, it's Brooklyn. They weren't trying to win games. He wasn't being rushed back by any means. 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan, so he can come in right away and fill a gap in that Nuggets lineup, and he's going to be perfect. Then you got Bruce Brown, who comes back to Denver after leaving after winning the championship and never really accomplishing anything. Last year, over a couple of different teams, he averaged 8.2 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and 0.7 steals in 25 minutes a game. Shot 41% from the field and 36% from 3 on 2 attempts per night. So not the best thing in the world, but he can still get downhill, can still finish around the rim, can still knock down the 3 ball a little bit. And good thing for Denver fans, Brown and Brown defense attorneys are back. That's one of the coolest nicknames in the league. He still has that vision, that high basketball IQ that's going to make him a fantastic backup point guard in Denver. It's just if he can be a consistent 3-point shooter is going to be the biggest thing. Jonas Valanciunas, huge that they were able to convince him to stay in the U.S. and play here as opposed to going overseas. He is going to be a perfect backup center for Jokic. 6'11", 265 pounds of just a bully. He is just a monster. Watch him move Mason Plumlee right out of the way, right to the rim. 10.5 points a game last year, 7.5 rebounds, 2 assists in just 19 minutes. A ridiculous stat line right there for just 19 minutes of action. Shot 55% from the field. And I think we're going to see a similar playing time for him this year. Maybe closer to 16 because you're not going to bench Jokic, but you can't really have Valanciunas Jokic minutes together. It'll be interesting to see how Adelman and company come up with a solution to that. But hey, it's a good problem to have. Something they would have loved to have last year. Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off a year averaging 11 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 0.5 steals in 28 minutes a game, shot 41% from the field and 37% from 3 last year on 6 attempts a night. He was a guy that can be a microwave scorer. He's going to be a good scorer for you off the bench. You just have to have good defense around him. And man, they have some good defense around Tim Hardaway Jr. off this bench. Looking at what was the bench last year, which is a complete travesty compared to what the bench will be this year. Watson and Strawther remain, but then you improve across the board other than that. And then you also add in the guy we were talking about earlier in Daron Holmes, who should be a guy you can plug and play at the 4 or the 5, and you can move Peyton Watson around accordingly. Also have Jalen Pickett there as well, and maybe even Tamar Bates, depending on if they want to keep him around. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, obviously you like something, make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. As you can see here, pretty much everybody that watches these videos are not subscribed to the channel, that you go ahead and fix that. Now, let's keep talking about the Nuggets and pick up with Jamal Murray, because a lot of Nuggets fans are saying they don't want Jamal Murray around anymore, and that kind of hurts me as an NBA fan in general, because Murray and Jokic are one of the best duos in the league. He averaged 21.5 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 47% from the field, and 39% from 3 on 6 attempts. It was a good year for him, and people are bashing him because of his playoff performances. Well, guess what? He played the Clippers in round 1, who had 3 elite perimeter defenders that they could continuously switch on to Murray, and the Thunder, who had like 4 or 5 that they could continuously switch on to Murray. Now, I know he's getting paid $208 million over the next 4 years. He should be able to perform no matter who's guarding him. However, it gets tiring when he is the only guy that's able to break down the defense on the perimeter and go get a bucket. In the playoffs, he averaged 22.5 points a game, 5.5 assists, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.5 steals on 45% shooting from the field, 38% from 3. And all things considered, I think that was a pretty good playoff run for Jamal Murray, considering who was guarding him. Speaking of grit in the playoffs, Aaron Gordon, shout out to him for what he did in Game 7 of that series. Still not over. Playing on a hamstring strain, a bad hamstring strain as well. Christian Brown, the $30 million man who is about to get a bag, rounds out the starting 5. And for Jokic, this might be the best overall well-rounded team that he has had in Denver. If this year isn't a championship, I don't know if they get another championship with Jokic on the squad. It's not crazy to say that, because this team is absolutely loaded. The fact that you go out and give him like 4 more legitimate NBA rotation level pieces and then a much more consistent small forward and third option, man, look out for the Nuggets this year. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. With that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.